Today we're going to be talking about something that is new on the horizon. It's called epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
And it's basically, what does your grandmother's health have to do with winding up with your health?
That's what started this all off.
Yep.
What does my grandmother have to do with my health?
Correct.
And you're suggesting it's this epigenetic concept.
Yes, this link. So the definition of epigenetics is it is additional information layered on top of your DNA sequence. Now, what does that mean, Dr. Gerken?
Boy, I'm working with that. I mean, epi, above.
Yep.
Like I know that's the epidermis, which is above the dermis on the skin.
Yep.
So epidermis, above the skin.
Yep.
So epigenetic, above the gene. So our genes, we get half from mother, half from father.
Yes,
our genes
we do.
don't change. But environmental influences on those genes can change. And that leads to what you're terming epigenetic consequences.
Right. Now, you and I came up with the concept that you think of an orchestra.
Right?
So the gene is the whole band together.
Okay.
But then in the orchestra, we have the woodwind section, the drum, percussion, violins,
brass.
Right,
Okay.
right. And then there's the conductor of the band,
The maestro.
the maestro.
Like you. You're the
The
maestro.
maestro.
The maestro. So the maestro, the music is more, well, it's the result of the genes, obviously.
Right.
But then the music itself, that's really more the epigenetic factor.
Right. Which is affected or influenced by external environments.
Okay.
So you have natural and regular occurrences which are affected by age, environment, lifestyle, and disease.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have modifications of those natural occurrences, you can have skin cells be turning into cancer skin cells. You can have liver cells be exposed to a chemical exposure that grandma was exposed to, and then that is translated, kind of embedded into your genes.
And how many generations do these epigenetic factors affect, Dr. Skoma? I think in my research, I read something like 3 or 4 generations.
I agree with you. From what I've heard too, it could be, whatever grandma had, it could be passed down 3 to 4 generations after her.
So it's not only what happened to my great grandmother, but also what could be having an effect on my children.
Right.
Or my children's children.
Yes.
So this is what's meant by epigenetic influences that are transmitted transgenerationally.
Yes.
So that thickens the plot quite a bit, Dr. Skoma.
Yeah, there was a study that was done between 1944 and 45 it was a Dutch famine, and the moms couldn't eat.
Right.
And what they found that increased rates of coronary heart disease and obesity versus mothers who did not go through the
In the children.
In the children.
In the children.
In the children.
Did it last a couple of did the children's children, or?
It was passed on generationally. So that would be an epigenetic effect.
So how can we deal with epigenetics? How do we use this to our advantage? How do we leverage our knowledge of epigenetics, Dr. Skoma?
Well, one thing we have to look at is the environment. So if you live in a world where you're constantly using plastic containers,
BPA's, bisphenol A.
Yep, we recommend that you use glass.
Correct.
To store your food products.
Right.
Lead, if someone works with stained glass.
Or even the pipes, like water pipes, like Flint, Michigan.
Flint, that's a good example, right.
Or lead in your dental amalgams. They talk about silver fillings. They're not silver fillings, they're mercury lead fillings
Yes.
with a little silver in there,
Yeah.
but they're mercury.
Yep.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Lead.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Yeah.
In the water. Toxic. So these are epigenetic factors.
Diet's another one. There was a study that I read that they found that a high-fat, low-carb diet will increase mental ability, make you smarter.
Okay, so high fat,
High-fat,
low
low
carb. So we talk about that a lot in the keto-friendly.
and that's what you and I call
Class.
low-carb,
Low carb
diet.
Yep. High
That
fats.
we recommend. High-fat.
Okay.
You know.
Which goes against common knowledge. I mean, we all know fat is bad. Time out. Fat's not bad.
No.
Fats, the good fats,
The good fats are good.
are good.
Right. Immunity and related disorders. So dealing with this isolation and quarantine that's happening here because of this COVID-19 virus,
Mm-hmm.
its effect on newborns will increase cortisol levels, which in turn could be passed on generational from the kids born now, 3 or 4 generations down the road. Maybe dealing with hypertension, you know, maybe anxiety-related disorders.
I'm getting anxiety right now.
Sure. From working with me, or just
No, of course not. That's calming. But everything else. So what do we do with this, Dr. Scoma? I mean, now we have this concept. We understand epigenetic factors that affect our genes.
Yeah.
So do we just come full circle and simply, you know, it's really, really important that people take the class, learn how to better relate to their environment through diet, stress, toxins, food allergies, microbes.
Right. So what you and I found studying this is that epigenetics is everywhere. It can affect what you eat is going to affect your genes. So again, stay away from GMO.
Right.
Where you live, if you live in the big cities,
Along a busy highway,
you're
you're breathing in the exhaust fumes.
Yes.
Benzene.
Yep.
Exhaust. Excellent. Great.
How you interact with people, meaning if you are around people who are always in a negative state of mind, they're going to weaken your energy level. It's going to bring you down.
Right. So really, relationships are epigenetically related as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Also, when you sleep, you know, you have people who have night hour jobs.
Yeah.
And that's very bad. You know, it shortens your lifespan when you do have to work the night shift.
Your circadian rhythms get all out of kilter. People that have to fly from east to west.
Very bad.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
You know, exercise is important. So, and then aging. Do you want to die quickly or slowly? You know?
Well, that's an interesting question. But I think what you're alluding to is that it's important to stay strong. So, as your candle burns down, it still burns brightly.
Right.
And it simply burns out. It's not flickering on and off, so to speak, for what, 10, 15, 20, 30 years?
Right. You're not going through your 40s with disease and 50s and new disease, 60s, 70s, 80s, and then you're dead.
Right.
But, you know, you go through aging and you have the normal aches and pains.
You were dying a long time.
Right.
Instead of living.
Right.
Robustly.
Right.
So take our class. Live robustly.
So epigenetics is reversible by changing your diet,
All right.
by changing what you drink,
Okay.
by shutting off your cell phone so you don't get that EMF exposure.
Good.
You know, exercise, and having a positive mental attitude.
Boy, that's a biggie.
You know,
Positive mental attitude.
because again, if you're always a negative person, that's creating a negative environment, releasing cortisol, more stress, more inflammation, more disease.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So that is epigenetics. We thought we'd throw that in because it's a new
That's a big word.
study
That's a
out there.
Scrabble word. I mean,
I know.
epigenetics, Dr. Skoma.
And I don't think anybody really is talking about this.
Well, it really, what it says to me is it's the entire environmental influences on our genes. And that's epigenetic influences.
Right.
So that's okay. If they see it in the literature, or if they're at a cocktail party, they can talk about epigenetics.
And remember, what you do will affect 3 to 4 generations past you.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
That's kind of scary in the sense that transgenerationally we're seeing things transmitted. So, wow, it's just not about you.
Right.
Frankly.
Now, mice have a gene they call the Agati gene. And typically the mouse is brown
Right.
and not obese. But what they did was, in this test, they changed the diet and the environment. And the mice became this yellow color, and they became obese.
Through diet.
Through diet.
Alone.
Yes.
So
and
if
the
they,
environment.
then if they changed the diet again, did it revert back to the browner, healthier?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So again, what you do affects your generations.
Right.
So as Dr. Gerken mentioned, take the class. I agree with him.
Take the
Not
class.
because we did it, but we think we really did a good job. And
We
have
did a great
something-
job. It's a fantastic class.
Yep. We have something to say.
$49.99. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wait, there's more.
This. Well, we're going to sign off on this, and hopefully you'll take the class. It's coming online in July 1st. Do the comments for the YouTube channel and pass it along and tell your friends.
See you next time.
See ya.